ego. Ego. So within the physical body, you've got obviously the skin, the bones, the muscle. That's your, like if you look at yourself like wishing dolls, taking off the layers of yourself. So you've got your physical body. So pranamaya kosha is second layer down, which is all your breath and energy. And then within the manamaya kosha, it's kind of I thought I wanted to look at these things called the kleshas, and the kleshas are different states of mind. And so one was ego, and so like just saying about ridiculousness. I was trying to explain it. I've been reading examples of like people's ego, and it's like not as in a big-headed thing, but it's just like what you identify yourself as. So like your body image. So I was reading like an article was they explained it as somebody like looked in the mirror and they were really sad they were getting older. And as I'm saying it, like in this room, everybody was older than me, and they all just looked at me with pity. Like, oh poor you, Zoe, you're so much younger than me. Oh, you think you're so old? And I was like, no, honestly, it's not about me. But like, you just realised that like what you just said's completely backfired, and you're like, I'll just shut up then. But yeah, and so, but to some people, like getting old is a big thing, and then we've all got weird faces now. You can usually tell. Well, I think I can usually tell a British tourist in the airport by what they've done to the face, like the eyelashes and the crazy lips, and like you can go away and you don't see it, and then you come to the airport, gee, British. It's just really weird. So there's this weird thing that people feel like they need to manipulate the faces to look younger and stuff. So that's an ego thing, like you're identifying with what what you're used to seeing, and you don't like the change. And it's interesting, like what you're saying with your job, you've left it, and you clearly don't identify with your job. You're like, it's just there, whatever. But some people really do, and they find it really hard to let go of like the status that they have and stuff. So they don't like change. So where the hell am I going with this? I've completely forgotten. So yeah, ego is this idea of identifying with some kind of thing that you put upon yourself. But beneath all that, obviously, you've got an inner voice that is always there, and it's sometimes nice just to listen to it. So I'll stop talking, you can begin to listen to your inner voice. So we'll get on with the movement. So there. Right, so lie yourself down, close your eyes, and we'll begin. And I shall close. Oh, got the right leg, it doesn't happen. So firstly, you're identifying with the physical self. Notice the weight of the body on the floor. You could kind of visualise like imagine that you could float above yourself and look down upon yourself. What would you look like? Noticing the head, the neck, the shoulders and ribs. Notice the broadness of the shoulders, the broadness of the hips, the length of the body, the length of the arms, the length of the legs. And noticing then the turn out of the feet. And once you've made all these kind of noticing, I couldn't speak English this morning, but once you've noticed the body, take yourself down that layer into your pranamaya kosha. That is just kind of firstly noticing the rhythm of your breathing, so the physical aspect of your energy, feeling how you're bringing the energy inwards, and then letting go of that energy each time you breathe out. And then quoting PIL, that band with John Lydon, we've got a song called Rise, and he shouts, anger is an energy, and it is. So if you can just maybe think of the mood that you have in the body. So, if you're happy, how does that feel? If you're sad, how does that feel? Kind of notice the mood within the body and kind of the energy that you would associate with it. Once you've done that, taking yourself now down into manamaya kosha, so the mind body, just maybe notice whether or not the mind is racing, the mind is busy. whether or not the mind is quiet. And it's, you know, I don't know if you're like me, but I tend to spend my life kind of looking at what I'm doing next rather than what I'm doing now. What I love about yoga is I do think about what I'm doing now. But generally speaking, I'm constantly thinking, oh, today I've got to do that next, and tomorrow I've got to do that. So just, you know, notice what is going on. Are you present to the physical body? So taking yourself now back into the physical, we're going to start with the toes. So widen out those toes, really get some space, and then scrunch up the toes and do that a few times. Really get to feel almost like the toes start at the ankles. I was thinking like a way of imagining this, but like, you know, it's not great to think of having webbed feet, but you know, if you imagine you've got webbed feet, you know, really spread those toes out, really feel that skin kind of expanding, those muscles right down deep in the feet expanding. And then from there, point the toes and push then the heels away to flex at the feet. Just notice how that then affects other parts of the body. You might feel the shins expanding, you might feel the knees bending. And then circle your feet at the end of your legs as opposed to anywhere else. Okay, so from there, relax your feet, bring your knees in towards your body, give yourself that little hug that we always do, and then start to take your feet upwards towards the ceiling, and then bend the knees again. So just taking that movement then into the knees, into the hamstrings, into the shins, all those places you can feel. It might be quite nice just to maybe change that with that footprint, maybe take the legs wider. Just try that, see how that feels on the legs. And then we'll slowly lower the feet down to the floor in front of us. So you've got both legs on the floor. We're just going to firstly raise the right leg up and then lower the right leg down. So just kind of seeing this as a movement from that hinge of the hip. Lower the right leg and take the left leg up in the same way. You might not like this one, but raise both legs and then lower both legs. Raise both legs and lower both legs. Bring your knees in towards your body and just give yourself a little hug and then place the feet down onto the floor in front of you. So knees bent, feet on the floor. And then just gently tip your tailbone forwards to the lower back arches and just again let that lower back find its place on the floor. So you're just rocking backwards and forwards over the pelvis and just letting the movement flow up the spine, loosening very subtly those joints. So just resting your hands out by your side, so go with hands at shoulder height, roughly speaking. Turning your gaze to look towards your right hand, so you've still got your knees bent. Slide your right hand up towards the top of your mat. Keep looking at the hand and just see how you feel about bringing that right hand all the way across towards your left hand. You'll feel your right hip lift off the floor as you do it. And then again, arching the right hand up overhead and back over to where it started. And just again, let your head follow the movement. So you're going to take that right hand up overhead, keep arcing, 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 reach through the fingers and all the way over to the left. And just again, let your right hip lift as those palms meet. And again, spiral back. So seeing about just trying to keep one finger possibly on the floor. So basically what I'm trying not to say is don't take the hand up towards the ceiling. Really try your very best to keep that hand kind of trailing a line on the floor somewhere overhead. And then taking the right hand out, look to the left and do the same thing, taking that left hand somewhere overhead, keep looking at it, and then taking the hand over to your right hand, and then again taking the hand back up overhead, and again spiral back out to the left. Just do that a few times. Try your very best to look at the hand, and that will just kind of change the shape of the spine to enable more movement. So as you bring that hand overhead, you might feel your lower back press into the floor. Again, that left hip should be lifting to bring the hand over. So just waking up those shoulders, waking up the ribs. And then next time you bring your left hand out, move your right hand over to the left. Sweep your hand back over, and then sweep your left hand over to the right. Sweep your left hand over, sweeping your right hand over to the left. Sweeping hand back over, sweeping left hand over to the right. Just kind of feel this, almost like your little sea urchin being tossed around just by a little bit of current under the waves. Like your arms like little strands, little tentacles. And then from there, relax your arms out, straighten your left leg. Extend your right leg to the ceiling. Place your hands around the back of your right thigh, hold on tight, push your right leg forwards and hinge to seated. Yay! Do you know what? I've been watching people all this week doing this. How are we getting on? That's it. Hold the leg, push it, there you go. Oh no! Push your leg, you'll get there, honestly. Trust your leg will get you there. Okay, so we're moving into, so today's sequence is we're going to be holding poses for like 10 breaths or so. So we're going to start in child. We're going to go, I call this cat-cow cobra, and I guess it is, I mean, is it cat-cow cobra? But that's what I call this. So we're going from child, up through cat. There's no cow actually in this, there's an up dog, and then there's a cobra. We're going to do this about 10 times. So firstly, let's settle to the back of your mat. Sorry, I'm just showing you. So settle to the back of your mat, hands outstretched. Just allow your forehead to kind of rest towards the floor. That's it. So just feeling the weight of your hands and how that kind of just presses gently into the shoulders. Just really take your focus into the back of the body, through the shoulders, into the ribs. How that settles down into the hips. And then now we're going to start to push those shins into the floor, or even lift the hips up if that makes more sense. Feel the push of the hips going into the spine. Let the hips come forwards and exhale into your up dog. Inhale, slowly bend the elbows to come down onto your tummy. And then as you exhale, you slide the nose forwards and lift the crown of the head up to meet your little cobra. Now push down with your hands, rise up. Push forward with your hands to sink back into child's pose. So it's an inhale to push up. and exhale to release. And inhale, bend. And an exhale, slide the nose. Inhale, push. Exhale, hinging back. Inhale, push. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Just repeating 6 more times. Feeling this is a movement that flows from the feet all the way to the crown of the head. So you're seeking fluidity of movement. Just kind of noticing what you're doing with your feet as you come into your up dog. So conventional teaching asks you to have your feet together, but I think you should just let your feet do what they need to do. So I won't be so precise about your feet. If they feel really nice to be wide, let them go wide. You're just kind of listening to your sacrum really. If your sacrum is complaining about what you're doing with your feet, then I would change that movement. I do believe that this one might be the 6th one. So floating up. Again, exhale hips. Inhale elbows. Exhale nose. Tuck your toes under and push down to move into plank pose. We're staying here for 10 breaths. So you can drop the knees. Try not to look elbows out, it's a good thing. So you can keep the elbows kind of turning inwards rather than outwards. Moving yourself up and back into downward facing dog. So you're looking back towards your shin, so your feet even. Just make sure your feet are not too close together. That's it, you're on the balls of your feet, heels are high. Pushing the front of the mat away, beginning now to witness your spine. So just notice the head, the curve of the neck, that little rounding of the ribs, and then just follow it down into your lumbar area. Can you just kind of find a way to make your lumbar curve reappear? Sometimes it rounds a little bit, so to make it reappear you might be bending those knees a little bit. That is going to create some slack in the back, and then as you push forwards, I want you then just to think of rolling your pubic bone between the legs and up to lengthen the front of the body. So taking a look now at your right hand, you're going to step your right foot towards the right hand, then the right knee, press to rise up. So we're on that ball of the left foot, as I tend to like doing. Straightening both legs to start with, bringing hands to heart. Begin to witness your right knee. You're going to take your hands up and then push your right knee forwards over the ankle. So you're going to keep that left leg straight this time, really pushing away with that left heel. Bringing your focus into your breathing. for 10 breaths. We're going to bring the hands to heart. So turning now your left heel inwards, so moving into Warrior 2 position. That sits up there, facing the chairs in this fair. Have a look at your right foot, so you've got your right heel back in an arch lined up. Lift and spread the toes of your left foot and then plant them down. Bringing then those arms out to shoulder height, taking the gaze towards the right middle finger. Just a little bit of a reach back with your left hand and then dip with the right knee, moving into Warrior 2, keeping that gaze steady and forwards. Fantastic. So you've all got good knees. It's very easy to kind of overstretch this pose. And again, now re-establish connection with that left foot. Lift and spread the toes, plant them down. Hands are spread. Keep the hands active. And I always kind of like to just kind of feel like I'm trying to draw those arms back, but not proud chested. There's like an element of just drawing those little fingers to the space behind. Lower the left hand, take the right hand upwards, taking that right hand up towards the ceiling, and that left hand begins to slide down the right thigh, the left thigh behind. Keep that knee slightly bent in front, so again you want to really feel the presence of that right foot supporting the right knee, how that connects into the hip and allows the ribs on that right side to open. And you can always support yourself with that left hand on the thigh if you need to. And again, re-establish connection with the left foot, lift and spread to sense the inner arch. Moving back to Warrior 2, taking gaze towards the right middle finger. Lower the left hand and place the right elbow down on the thigh. So you're going to turn that palm up, spread the fingers. So really widen the fingers on that right hand. Can feel that you're pushing down into the right knee. Take the left hand up and spread the fingers to the ceiling. So right knee stays over that ankle. Lift and spread the toes again on that left foot, plant back down. I feel like I'm on a little mission just to kind of spread out pupils feet. Turn the body down towards your right foot and then walk your hands into that wide space between your legs. You're going to pivot your right foot so you're now facing those chairs. Fantastic. Lift and spread. Which way are you going? So you're in a deep wide fold. Will be frozen. There you are. So lift and spread the toes and then drop the toes down. And that's it, moving into our fold. So you're going to firstly place your hands on your shins. I want you just to kind of feel the weight of your body being carried by your shins and by your feet. So it's very easy to kind of drop your weight into your hands on this one. Lift and spread the toes and again drop them down. Feel your big toes pressing into the floor. And then relax your head. So you can always walk your hands up the shins if you need to. Take it more into a half fold. Soften the backs of the knees. It's very easy again in this pose just to kind of push out for those knees. And if you want to, then take your hands, let them come down to the floor. So keep the weight in the feet. And if your hands on the floor, explore bending those elbows and letting the crown of the head come down, 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 down towards the floor. So just think of relaxing the spine at the end of your hips. Please don't worry about that. Okay, so from this place, there you go, just put my little area on here. Okay, so from this place, we're going to begin to bend our right knee and walk your hands over towards your right foot. So you just dip in that bottom back, and then big push with that right foot, send your weight over to the left foot. Exhale here. Inhale, walk to centre, exhale to the right. Inhale to centre, exhale to the left. So really tune in to the push and the kind of settling into each foot. So as you push, you begin to settle, really tune into that weight going down into the opposite foot. And then the next time you come to the middle, pivot and settle yourself back into child's pose at the end of the mat. Sink down. We're not going to stay here for 10 breaths, I want to keep you moving. Okay, so push with those shins, float up again through our up dog. Exhale, hips coming down. Inhale, elbows bend, lay yourself down. And then exhale, lead with the nose, rise up, cobra, tuck the toes under, push up into plank. 10 breaths here, very sorry. Moving up and back into downward facing dog, looking back towards those feet. And again, witness firstly the spine. What is it doing? Neck, ribs, lower back. Follow it to the tailbone. Try to think of having those lovely curves that you need to have there. So, you know, the neck and the lumbar spine mirror each other. And the rib cage and that little pelvis, again, forming a little arc. So then heels are high, hands are pushing forward, softness through the backs of the knees. Roll the pubic bone up and back to lengthen the hamstrings a little bit more. Okay, so taking a look now at your left hand, step your left foot through. So again, bend that left knee, big press to rise up. And then, again, right heel's lifted. Hands at heart, straighten both legs. You're going to inhale, take the hands up and push the left knee forward. So again, knee over ankle, keep pushing back through the right heel, 10 breaths. I don't know if you are like me, but that left leg goes a little bit weaker than the right leg. And that's what, you know, talking about things unchanging. I guess to all intents and purposes, you look the same, but there's these little changes happening under the body. But the body's coping with those changes regardless. Guiding hands to heart, spin your right heel in, moving out to find your warrior two. So first you straighten legs, lift and spread the toes in your right foot. So you're going to plant them down, push the right heel towards the wall behind. A little bit of a reach back with your right hand as you exhale and bend the left knee, and again sink into warrior two. Gaze into the left middle finger. And again, re-establish connection with that right foot, lift and spread. And kind of pressing that right thigh back to feel the stability from the pose. The fingers again widen and just kind of draw them back slightly to open out the heart a little bit more. Taking the right hand down, left hand sweeps up to moving into our Sun Warrior. Look into the right middle, the left middle finger. And again, just notice how that right hand slides down the back ribs. We've got that left knee bent. Again, feel the push of the left foot into the knee, into the hip. Support from the right hip all the way down into that right foot. Moving back to Warrior 2, keep your right hand lazy, left elbow bends, taking the elbow down onto the shin, palms are spread. Again, really radiate out from the fingers, push down with the elbow into the knee, and then reach the right hand up. Try your very best to reach the ceiling with that right middle finger, so we're feeling expansion through the ribs. Lift and spread the toes on the right foot, and again, press down through that little toe, feel the heel pushing away. So again, really creating space down the right side body. Swooping down, moving into our deep fold. So you're going to pivot that left foot so it's now facing the same way as your right. That's it, so wide leg fold. So again, placing hands on those shins or those ankles, wherever they feel better. A little bit of a bend to the knee, lift the tailbone. And then explore, bending the elbows to come down. Lift and spread those toes. Again, re-establish connection through the feet. You then might be placing the hands down on the floor for support, but I want you to really keep the weight in the feet. Bend your right knee, drift your weight over. Push with the right leg, bend the left knee, weight goes over. Inhale, center, exhale, bend. Inhale, center, exhale, bend. Pivoting to turn to the front of your mat and settle back down into child's pose. I don't know about you, but my hips feel nice and heavy, like I'm lengthening that lower back a little bit. Okay, so push with those shins, rise up, and again exhale, up dog. Inhale, slow, come down. Exhale, nose lifts. Tuck the toes under, push up into plank. Again, 10 breaths. You could change this up a little bit because we're going to change some things now. So if you want to, you can always drop down onto those knees and then lift the knees and hover. That's another little way of doing a kind of interesting plank. So again, my knees are under hips. So I've just got into all fours and then I've just kind of lifted and hovering the knees a little tiny bit. So again, less work on the spine in the core, but more work in the shoulders. So again, you can always do that, or you could come into plank as you prefer. So hinging up and back into downward facing dog. So you can keep it as a dog. You can always come down and do a cat-cow. Another little thing you can do is to massage your dog. So you've got your dog at the end of your mat. Go really high up onto the toes, almost like you want to go up onto tiptoes, right onto the tips, and just feel how your shoulders push forwards over wrists. And then really focus on your heels coming to the floor. They will bring the shins, they will bring the thighs, they will bring the hips. Let it lengthen the spine. So try not to keep it as a hamstring stretch. Think of it as a whole body movement. As you come onto toes, you push forwards, and as you bring those heels to the floor, the body follows. So let those heels come all the way back. Let it bring the spine too. And again, as you go onto toes, it pushes you forwards. And again, as you bring those heels to the floor, it brings the spine too. So really trust that those heels will come to the floor because the body will follow them. That's it. Just think of, you can shorten your stance a little bit, see if that helps. That's it. So heels come to the floor, let the body follow. High, high, high. And then again, low, low, low. Let the body follow. Okay. So I've done roughly 10 of these, I think. Look to your right foot, step your right foot through, and again, press to rise up. Hands at heart center, both legs are straight. Bend your right knee firstly as you raise those hands. So to tweak this one, we can do what I like doing, which is to dip the left knee. Inhale, straighten both legs. Exhale, dip the left knee. So that right knee bends, goes over the ankle, and again, inhale, rise. Exhale, dip. Inhale, rise. Exhale, dip. So if this is too much, you stay in that very first movement. And pause. Bringing hands to heart, stepping left heel in, moving into Warrior 2 stand. So firstly, again, look at your feet, heel to back in the arch. Lift and spread the toes on the left foot. Looking out towards your right hand. Reach back with your left as you then exhale, move into Warrior 2, bending that knee. Turn your right hand so the thumb is facing the ceiling. We're going to inhale here and exhale, bring the left hand around towards that hand, so you're going to pull and throw. Slide the hand back, release the arrow. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So we should have now found our 10. Lower the left hand and reach the right hand up again, just re-establish connection with the right knee. You could straighten that right leg and slide your left hand a little bit down that thigh behind and again see how that feels. And then move into our Parsvakonasana. So we're going to bring the arms out, re-bend the right knee, placing your left hand on the back thigh and take your right hand down onto the thigh. And then we could maybe bring the oopsie-daisy elbow down. Do the splits on your mat. Bring the elbow down if that feels better. So again, you can always keep that hand there. Fantastic. Pushing down with the elbow. You could now bring your left hand to your heart center and then start to really think of pushing into the floor of your right foot, taking the elbow away from the thigh, pressing palms together, really using the leg in front of you to support yourself. Spiral down, pivot the right foot, moving into deep fold. So again, let that weight go into your feet, lift and spread the toes, drop the toes down. And again, you can kind of place those hands on the shins if that's where you want to be, softness through the backs of the knees, lift the sit bones, moving into classic pose if you want to. So we're going to place the hands on the sacrum, hands clasped together, straighten the arms, so you're going to feel the shoulders squeezing behind, and then you can let those hands tip forwards away from you, and that deepens the fold. And obviously then you're listening to your lower back and your sacrum, and if there's any kind of complaint there, you come back out of it, you hold onto a shin. That's it, just make sure that your choice is well chosen. I like that you're doing that as well at home, you're not doing that with your arms. Fantastic. Okay, so relax the hands down towards your feet. Walk your feet in towards yourself now. So we're going to go down into a crouch. So bend your knees and settle down. So we've got a few little crouches that we can do. We've got kind of a passive crouch, so you can let your belly rest on your thighs and kind of let your lower back relax. Or we've got a more active crouch, and from that we're going to bring those palms together in front of the nose. Maybe widen out your knees a bit, so your elbows are going to go into those inner knees. And then you draw the hands down in line with heart, and that then pushes the knees a little bit wider. So again, that is, you can always kind of do a bit of that. You can keep it static. Okay, so from this place, pivot again to the front of your mat and sink back down into child's pose. Thinking, yeah, you've only got one more leg. Pushing yourself up to all fours, and again, exhale the hips forwards. Inhale, bending those elbows, come down with control. Exhale, slide the nose, rise up. Inhale, push those hands coming into plank of choice or cat-cow or whatever you want to do at this point. Give them your belly and stare. Use your hands to hinge up into downward facing dog. So again, try your very best to keep those footprints where you left them. Sometimes it's easy to want to shorten, although saying that if you feel like you're going to face plank, please shorten. So we can do what we've been doing. We can stay static. We can massage the dog with our feet. You could even bring your right knee towards your right armpit and then push that left foot to float into single-legged plank. You could then drop that right foot down and then do the same with the left, bringing that left thigh into the belly. Push with that left foot onto tiptoes to push yourself forwards. And then again, sinking back. You could do that a few times. You could completely ignore me. You could go back onto all fours and just have a little rest. And then from there, look in towards your left hand, step your left foot forwards, bend the left knee, press to rise up. Final time, we do knees. Again, that right foot is back, hands at heart. Extend the hands up, push your left knee forward to start with. So again, this is where you can always come back to. If you wish, exhale, dip the right knee. Inhale, straighten both legs. Exhale, dip that right knee. So you're just kind of witnessing where that left knee goes. Let it go no further than the ankle, so you don't want to strain that knee. It's like you're taking that right knee to the floor. If it doesn't get there. Moving back to our first pose, push the left knee forwards and then take that right heel, spin it in, looking out towards your left middle finger. So straighten both legs to start with. So you've got your left foot pointing forwards, that's it, Warrior 2. Lift and spread the toes on your right foot, plant them down. Little reach back with the right hand as you exhale, dip the left knee. Turn your left thumb up. Inhale here. Exhale, release the bow. Exhale, release the bow. So as you release the bow this time, drop your right hand, sweep your left hand up. Again, gaze into the ring finger, the middle finger, the thumb, whatever feels better. And you can keep this left knee bent, but you might want to straighten the left leg and slide that right hand down a little bit deeper down the right thigh. Moving back to Warrior 2. Right hand stays lazy, left elbow bends, moving again into Parsvakonasana. So you're stacking the shoulders to start with. And then you can always raise that right hand, or you can think again of supporting yourself that left leg. So again, really think of pushing down, elbow comes away, bringing palms to heart center. Releasing down, walk yourself into deep fold, so you pivot that left foot. Again, find your support through the feet, lift and spread the toes. So again, feel the bones of the leg doing all the work to keep you here. And again, you can have the fingertips on the floor, you can have the hands to the shins, whatever floats your boat. But if you want to try that little extra bit, you're going to bring those hands to sacrum. Again, feel the leg supporting the body, softness through the backs of the knees. Interlace the fingers, straighten the arms, and allow them to tip away from the body. So you're going to feel those shoulders squeezing behind, chest feels broad, head starts to naturally descend, and those hands come forward. All those hands do are kind of act as a little counterbalance. So again, it's perfectly alright to not do that as well, and I really like that you're not doing that as well. Just think of the weight from the crown of the head. Feel the support in the feet. Again, you might be very welcome to lift those toes again and spread them out and drop them back down again. That will find the outer edges of those shins a little bit. Walking your hands in and walking your feet in to find your crouch. So dropping your belly down. Again, passive if you want to. So again, see it as a way of letting go. Or bringing palms towards the nose. Bringing those elbows towards the knees. And then as you bring those hands down, it widens the knees. Widen out your footprints if that feels better. And I know you're on your toes, so just you're on your toes. It's not as big and lift that feet. Okay, so drop your bottom down and bring your feet out in front of you, raising ourselves up into boat pose. Boat pose. So you've got your shins relatively parallel to the floor. You're thinking of your spine staying nice and straight, just gazing out towards big toes. I can't count to 10, can I? And then bring yourself back and onto your knees. So placing your hands under your shoulders, knees under hips. Slide your right fat foot back and lift it up to the ceiling. So we're going to arch the spine, look upwards. And then bring that knee down towards your belly, nose towards the knee. And again, exhaling, taking the foot up and back. Inhaling, bringing that nose in towards the knee. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. See how you feel about keeping your right hand on the floor and taking your left hand back towards your right big toe. And then once you've found it, possibly push the foot away to open the heart. Releasing down, step your right foot through in front of you. Lift your left knee. God, this lesson's got everything. I'm thinking, what planet am I on? Bend your right knee and push to Sandy. I'm so sorry, I will let you lay down in a minute. Oh dear, clearly I've had too much food. So Bring your hands to heart. So you're gonna come into like a bit of a weird lunge. The movement is going to come from this pelvis. So firstly, kind of fixate yourself on the space between your clavicle and your pubic bone. We're going to then bring those hands back, bend the right knee, and then tilt forwards. Keep the space between clavicle and pubic bone. So again, you're utilising this right leg to support the body. My left heel's lifted. And sweep down. Leave your left hand on the floor. Keep your left knee lifted and sweep your right hand up to the ceiling. Gazing towards the right thumb. Fantastic. I like that adaptation again, Sam, so that you've got that hand on the back. This movement is mainly about the chest, the arm is decoration. So again, if you're unsure, you can always bring that hand down and draw the shoulder back. So just lay the right arm on the side of your body, everybody, and again, draw that shoulder back. Okay, so place the hands back down, step back into all fours. And slide your left foot back and raise the leg, exhale. Inhale, the knee comes in. And exhale, the foot goes up and back. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Keep the foot lifted. So you're going to keep, which leg are we even doing? I've completely forgotten. Your left hand on the floor. So it's a little bit of shifting your weight over to that left hand. The right hand comes around, finds the big toe, possibly. And then you push the foot away to open the heart. Place the hand down, sweep that leg through, tuck the toes under behind, lift the right knee, press to rise. Again, witness from clavicle to pubic bone, hands are back, bend the left knee, and the movement is from the pelvis. Keep the spine with its natural curves. So you don't have to go down very far, but feel the presence of that left foot pressing into the floor. Sometimes that's when you want to start hyperventilating so you can get the 10 breaths done quicker. Lower the right knee down. Keep your right hand on the floor and turn the chest. So again, we don't have to lift that knee. I didn't tell you that last time, but I think you all know. You can lift that knee if you wish, push the knee away. So the biggest thing here is the turning of the heart. Fantastic. So again, if that heart doesn't feel like it's turned, you can always lay the arm down and just focus on squeezing that left shoulder back. You've all got your heart nicely turned. Settle down and take a seat. Pause. It's what a week of doing no yoga, decided a week doing like swimming and stuff. Come back feeling crazy clearly. Right, so what we're doing, we're going to just do a little bit of more legginess and then we're going to take it into some pigeons. So what we're going to do, you can do this with feet on the floor. Slide your feet around to, I'm going to do my right, so towards your right hand side. And then push them in front of you and then around to the left. And again in front and to the right. And in front and to the left. And in front and to the right. So you're kind of almost keeping your knees almost in line with your hips as doing this. And then if you wanted to, you can go up onto your hips and kind of tap your feet left and right. Don't know why you do that with your hands, but just makes you feel like you're doing the twist. Okay, from there, I think we should we're going to shove ourselves eventually into a pigeon. And everybody this week's gone really because they've all ended up off the mat. So you just might want to angle yourself up a little bit so that when you do turn into pigeon, your right shin's at the front of the mat. So firstly, widen out your feet. So that's a little bit, go a little bit off centre, that's right. And then take your knees across to the right. Just let your left hip float away from the floor. Just keep turning. So then you're looking over your right shoulder. So just beginning to bring this as a movement into that left hip, all the way across to your right shoulder. And then take those hands behind, take those knees the opposite direction. So you're going to face the opposite way. It doesn't matter. Right hip comes away from the floor, look over your left shoulder. So again, feeling this as a movement from that right knee into the left shoulder. And then again, stand the feet back up, rotating the opposite way, and again, let it go into hips. So knees shouldn't be touching each other, so just make sure you've got that gap between knee and foot. And again, stand the feet back up, take the knees in the opposite direction again. That's it, so knee falls in, and go into the hips. Standing feet back up, again, take it the opposite way. You can maybe now even slide. Well, actually, no, that means you're going to touch the floor. Don't slide anything. Bend your elbows and take a little bound down towards that space behind. And then use your hands to push back up and go the opposite way. So take your knees the opposite way again. Keeping your hands on the mat if you want to. Bend the elbows, take a bow over the leg. Moving back to centre. This is when we're going to start to pigeon. So we should have our right shin in front of us. Spin. I'm thinking yeah, never mind. I was like, oh yeah, that looks right. Yeah, so you get your right shin in front of you. Okay, so place your right hand in front of your right knee and your left hand in front of your right foot and slide the hands away. So taking yourself firstly into a bit of a weird broken pigeon and then slide your left foot to the back of the mat, moving into pigeon that you might recognise. So tuck your toes under, that back foot. Push the heel away so you're going to feel that knee lift and just kind of hold that for a second. Feel the extension all the way in from that thigh into the hip and then softly lower the knee and untuck the toe. Feel the support of the elbows, feel the weight of the head. Walking hands in towards your knees. We make our pigeon have a little dance because I still haven't done with the other. So you're going to tuck your toes under behind. And so you've got an outside heel and an inside heel. I think it's better to firstly work the inside heel. So if you drop your inside heel inwards, your left hip lifts and you turn out a little bit. And then stand the foot up and you can feel the pelvis turn back to pigeon. And then if you turn the outside heel towards the floor, your right hip lifts and your left hip dips to the floor. And then again, stand the foot up and again let your right hip come to the floor. And then stand the foot up and let your left hip come towards the floor. So what I love about this is what is happening really low down from where the spine and the pelvis and you just kind of watch that little wiggle there. Just imagine all those little muscles that get a little bit stiff, a little bit creaky, being woken up just by that foot having a little move around. Let the foot mobilise the back. And then from there, we're going to slide our feet back out in front. and then drop them the other way. So this time you should have your left shin pointing to the front of your mat, so shuffle around till you arse again. Carpets aren't that good, are they? So placing your, left hand in front of your left knee, right hand in front of your left foot. Again, slide down to elbows, kind of rest here. That might feel really nice. In fact, it does. On that inner right knee, I feel that feels really nice and passive, but lovely at the same time. But then if you want to work as a more pigeony movement, you begin to slide your right foot to the back of the mat. Again, we'll tuck the toes under, push away the heel to lift the knee. Hold that for a second, and then softly drop the knee down and untuck the toes. And then the biggest thing here is finding support. Check the support out of the shin, of the arms. Walking your hands in towards your knees again, and tuck your toe under behind. And then you're going to drop that right heel inwards and feel how the right hip tips away from the floor. Stand the foot up, feel how you move back to pelvis, heart comes forward, tipping that right heel outwards, the left hip lifts away from the floor. And again, stand the foot up, and just maybe even close your eyes, feel what's happening through the shin, into the knee, into the thigh bone, into the pelvis, and then into the spine again. Just witness really deep down into the spine itself. You know, those little muscles being woken up and wiggled free. And then taking the feet out in front, you please know I've run out of ideas. I've got loads. I'll just keep beasting you, but you might hate me sometimes. Lay yourself down. Just check out your hips on the floor, check out your lower back on the floor, check out your ribs on the floor. Just notice again the physical aspect of the body. And then moving your focus inwards towards your breathing. Again, just notice the rhythm of your breathing. And staying with the energetic self, we're going to take ourselves just through a few of the Vasista breathing mechanisms. So we'll start with the belly breath. Allow it to expand, but then pull the navel in towards the spine to let the breath out of the body. Breathing in, you relax the belly. Breathing out, you just allow the navel to sink. Back to the spine, pull it back, I should say, and then inhale, relax the belly. Exhale, let the navel come back to the spine with activity. So as you breathe out next, hold the navel in, keep it drawn. And that pushes the breath upwards into the chest. Feel how the ribs widen. Spend some time in the back of the body. Feeling the expansion through the backs of the ribs. Relax the belly button. Moving into full yogic breath, so the belly rises, the chest rises, you turn it around and let it go. Letting the breath settle now in gentle ujjayi in the throat. And settling then into natural breath. So just for a moment, just reflect upon the physical aspect of the body. And then the energetic self. But then moving into the mind body. Just question, is it busy? Is it quiet? Is it more willing to be present to sensation within the body? And I just want you now just to kind of transport yourself to your favourite place in the world. And just imagine yourself sitting there or lying there, wherever it is that you've placed yourself. And picture yourself looking up towards whatever's above your head. Looking down to the space around your feet. Look all around you, take in whatever it is that's brought you there. And just picture the sounds that you can hear. And the smells that you would smell. And any sensations of heat or coolness on the skin. But then as you're taking in this little vision in front of you, just think then, how do you feel? And if this feeling has a voice, who is this little person that's sitting in your body at this moment? This question, could this be you beneath your thoughts and the things that we give ourselves to do? This little voice that isn't our job, that isn't our physical body. And just notice your breathing around this voice as you're spending time with it. And just around your heart, just sense how that feels. Just kind of make friends with this person. So as life changes all around us constantly, this little being is always there. Always there to be found. So let's now walk our feet in towards the hips. Just place your feet on the floor. Just gently tip your tailbone forwards and just gently rock your lower back into the floor and have a little play with that. And then slide your right leg out into the floor in front of you and extend your left leg up. Interlacing fingers around the back of the left thigh. Push the left leg forwards and hinge to seated. Oh! Namaste, thank you very much for that. I'm going to watch you Monday and see what you're doing, see if I can get you to do that. Oh.